Yes. I was looking in this dictionary for the word attitude. Yes. But while looking for that, they have what's known as the associate. Yes. To connect or join together to accompany socially to find relationships between a partner, colleague, or companion. One with whom another works or does business, known as an association. Yes. Now, this is an organized body of persons or professions having of common interest, a society. The act of making mental connections be among disparate ideas or facts. Yeah. But then they have what's known as the assassin. Oh, a murderer, especially of a political or ideological important person. Yeah. Either from fanatical belief or for hire, a hired killer used by others to change the course of events. Yes. As in to assassinate. Oh. Now, there's the word asperity. Yes, a roughness in manner. The asperity. Yeah. But then there's the aspersion. False charges or slander, defamation, and maligning. Yes. The aspersion. Yeah. Now, I just wanted to remind those that could be watching this. Yes. There might not be anybody watching it. See, I'm a homeless man that spent 7 years and 9 months going through quite a few torturous experiences where I had to live with people that were, well, they didn't have any money. A lot of them were being used by those that are in police departments. Yeah. Now, this associate, when thinking about the attitude necessary to survive, I didn't get the rent paid yesterday, and I thought somebody was going to send a check to pay the rent, but it looks like I'm going to sleep in a homeless shelter. Yes. And I spent years and years and years sleeping in a homeless shelter on a cot. Yes. With only a pillow and a blanket. Yeah. Waking up at 5 a.m., possibly getting a cup of coffee in the morning. Yes. And my explanation of how to survive was an attitude. Today we're going to work on your attitude. Now, yesterday I mentioned that these lawsuits, they cost me the interest of the financing necessary to finance the actual evidence, witnesses, discovery, all the necessaries so that I can present the lawsuit to an attorney firm. Yes. And then I pay their employees to represent me in court. Yes, he does. Now, homelessness for me has been a profession. Mhm. See, I've been sending emails for the last 3 years and 8 months. Yes, since November 15th of 2015. I informed the Port Townsend Police Department. Yes, the Port Angeles Police Department and the Sequim Police Department that my rights were being violated. And they said, well, he's homeless. But what they don't understand is when you're really homeless as a profession, you have this attitude that every night that I had to sleep in a homeless shelter, I was going to make absolutely sure that you would pay. That would be your personal assets. Yes. That would be your unions. Yes, it would. Hmm. That would be your individual police and sheriff's departments. Right. That would be those that are oaths, badges, and attorneys. Now, for the first, let's see, I got here on January 7th of 2012. Right. You had already issued a protection order where I was not given any due process. Yeah. And I was sitting there waiting in the fifth wheel at 1023 Kitchen Dick Road. Yes. For the original protection order to expire. Right. So that I could speak to my sons. Yes. But then you had me arrested. Right now. Now, what law enforcement doesn't understand is the attitude necessary to survive, yes, as a homeless person. See, the thought was, well, you'd allow for the burglarization of all my personal items. Yes. You closed the homeless shelter last summer, so I ended up living at a rental house. Yes. Where the individual that I was living with, we were going to fix the place up. Which he happened to have a bleeding ulcer. Now, I spent all night explaining to you the minimum requirements of the law for going to prison. Yeah. And your thought was, well, as long as he doesn't have an attorney and he's not able to use the actual judicial system of the United States, we are going to be of the attitude that we are not going to enforce the laws. But my attitude from 7 years and 9 months of homelessness is I am going to sue you. Yes. And it's going to cost me the interest of the financing necessary to do all the legal work right now. Now, here's how homelessness works. Pooch, you have a fucking, you have an attitude that when I walk in that place, nobody better fuck with me. It's an attitude that I'm going to survive, yes, and then you're going to enforce the laws because in this nation you will not violate the rules.